Okay. All right. So, as I was saying, Ben has 15 years experience in managing complex IT projects, and throughout his career, Ben has worked across various professional service sectors in the United Kingdom, and that includes the legal sector. He possesses extensive experience in engaging with stakeholders at all organizational levels, skillfully eliciting, negotiating, and documenting business requirements. His global experience includes collaborating with stakeholders in the UK, Australia, and other regions, including North America. He holds an MSc in Information Systems Design from the University of Westminster, a BA in Business Administration, that's Finance and Accounting from the University of Bedfordshire School of Business, and is a certified business analyst with the British Computer Society, as well as a chartered, with a chartered Institute of IT. So that is Benjamin Godwell for you. Mr. Fifi Fosun, again, I've also known him since 1989 when he set his foot on the Great Laboratory. He's also an IT person. He specializes in developing programs, for various works, including accounting, business management, and others. A very astute person when it comes to IT, and he will be also one of our speakers this evening. So, Benjamin, who we affectionately call Kozi, I would hand you the section over to you. Please take it over from here. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. And welcome, everyone. It's good to be back. And yes, it's a great opportunity to speak to you again on AI. So, in my presentation last year, I covered AI basics and I highlighted the impact of generative AI, Gen AI as we usually call it, and what impact it was having on all sectors. So, for example, in the legal services, it's being used to carry out legal research. In finance, it enhances fraud detection and risk assessment. In healthcare, it aids diagnosis and drug discovery. In transportation, it powers autonomous vehicles. And in education, it facilitates personalized learning and finally, in entertainment, as you all know, those who are content creators, it is used to create content. And I also highlighted on some concerns with the emergence of Gen AI, particularly on job tasks that can be automated. And my advice I gave last year was for us to learn how to adapt and adopt these AI tools because this is the future. In the 80s and 90s, there were similar concerns raised with the introduction of personal computers. They were seen to be a threat to jobs, but today we all use computers in our daily tasks and activities. And this advancement in technology is what has enabled us all to connect from different parts of the world in this forum. So machine learning and automation are transforming entire industries, and we are now in the fourth industrial revolution, according to the World Economic Forum. So today we are going to shift a gear because a lot has happened since my last presentation with an increase of AI tools. We're talking hundreds of new AI tools, with some referred to as AI agents. We will explore how to launch a successful online business with the use of AI agents. So one might ask, what is an AI agent? So, in simple terms, an AI agent is a digital assistant. You give it a command or prompt, as referred to, and it thinks about it and responds. AI agents don't wait for step-by-step instructions. AI agents will just require you to provide a well-structured prompt, and then it will just go ahead and complete the task. Simple examples are Siri and Google Assistant. You can ask Siri to remind you to call a client at 10 a.m., say tomorrow, and it will complete that task. So later in my presentation, I'll show you how you how I'll just show you, how you can use AI agents and to create online business. And I would actually do a demo, and hopefully Kofi will also join in with some more detail on the use of AI agents. So I'm hoping you can all see my screen. Yes. Okay. So let's get into the juicy bit of launching a successful online business. So as a disclaimer, I do not have an online business, but as John said, I'm an IT professional with over 15 years experience, and I have had the opportunity to execute a number of successful IT projects in my role as an
Matilda,
IT business
eh,
analyst. Sorry, there's some background noise. Could you please or just mute? Thank you. Yeah, so as I was saying, so as an IT business analyst, my role is to combine the two disciplines, business and IT. And I mean, the clue is in the title. The business side of things forms a greater part of my role because I really do need to understand what the business needs before I can think of an IT solution. So, in other words, what is the problem that the business is trying to fix? And once that has been understood, I will then decide the most appropriate solution. So you can see me as the bridge between IT and the business. I would like, I really want to make this session interactive. So if you could all use the chat function, I want you to type in yes if you've owned or run a business, any type of business. So it doesn't have to be online, just any business. If you have, just type in yes. If you haven't, I just want to gauge. And John, you could probably look at the results coming through. Yes, I'm seeing quite a few yes. Okay, it looks as though we've got quite a number of entrepreneurs. That's good. That's good. Okay, I'm only seeing yeses. I'm sure there are a few no's. Doesn't matter if you haven't done that. Okay. Okay. So now, let's use the chat function again. And let me know if you've used any social media platform to promote your business, like Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook. Okay. Could you understand? You're not Gen Z, but it's good to know. Good. Seen a few results come through. Now, just using the chat function again, let me know if you've started a business and it failed. And trust me, there's no shame in that. If it failed, a lot of successful businesses is after several failures before you get to success. So good, good. So now finally, let me know if you desire to start your own business.
So when some of my friends cosmetic and were happy with the results, I booked my first consultation. Kochak Cosmetics has been FDA approved for over 20 years. And it's the most studied product I've done. Happy with my
There is some background feed. I don't know. Okay. Thank you for your participation. Yeah, I'm glad to hear and see some of the results. So the big question is, how do you successfully get your product or your service to market, And I suppose those of you who've studied business or marketing will know that the simple answer to this question is market research. I do appreciate that there may be a variety of complex reasons why businesses or startups may fail, but also a lot of people go into business for the wrong reasons. For example, Amma has a successful business trading in jewelry. And so Abna assumes that she can also do the same. Copying blindly can be very, very dangerous. So what I would like to do now, take a few more minutes, is to show you 7 steps to conducting market research. These principles can be applied to both physical and online businesses. Market research is very important because it will enable you to assess business risks and opportunities. So these are the 7 steps. Purpose. You need to know the purpose of your product or your service. Industry. You need to know the industry you're going in. Targets, your customers. You need to know who you're targeting, who your customer base are going to be. Competitors. You need to know who your competitors are. You don't just enter an industry onto the market without knowing what the competition is like. Data, these days data is now referred to as the new gold. You know, Gathering as much data is very important on the industry, on your customers, on the competition. Collect as much data as possible. And then once you've got all these findings, you put that together and you analyze your results, and then you take your plan of action. So this is a high level view. I'm just going to now go into purpose for each of the 7 principles I've highlighted here. Okay. So let's begin with establishing the purpose of your product. No, what is the purpose of your products? And this forms the foundation of your business strategy. So first, you need to clearly identify the problem your product or service solves and the value it offers to customers. This is very key. What problem is your product going to solve? Will people find value in your product or service? If not, then there is a value risk. What is your business vision? In life, we all need direction and purpose. So for your business, you also need a mission statement with clear business goals that align to your mission statement. This is very important when establishing your business. Industry. No. So the next step is to research your industry. This helps you to understand the market dynamics and for you to spot opportunities. You need to know the current market trends and growth potential for the market that you wish to enter. Now you can use tools like Google Trends to analyze market trends. You can engage with experts such as data analysts to identify the market size. You also need to get a sense of the proportion of the market that you can possibly obtain, especially when the market is saturated. And this is usually referred to as total obtainable market. Okay. Finally, networking with industry experts. That would also enable you to gain some valuable insights. So get to know who the experts are, learn from them. I always say one thing in life, always get a mentor. Don't just go in blindly thinking you know it all. Mentors, networking, these are key. Okay. Next, you also need to know your target customers. Knowing who they are helps you tailor your marketing and product design. The truth is, not every person will be your customer. So, part of the market research is to determine who your potential customers are. Look at things like age, income, gender, location, and occupation. Once you narrow down who your customers are, find out their needs, their interests, their personalities, and their demographics. You may have a typical customer, but also consider personas based on your findings because many businesses have multiple types of customers. So the benefit of doing this would allow you to put your customers into different segments to enable you provide tailored service and specific products for the various customer segments. Okay. So analyzing your competitors helps you to identify your unique selling proposition. This is what sets your products apart. So with my example of Amma and Abna, if Abna wants to enter the jewelry business, she needs to know what Amma is doing well and areas where Amma and other competitors may not be doing so well. In the areas where your competitor is not doing so well, this could be an opportunity to focus on what you can gain or gain an advantage over your competitor. It could be just like the quality of the gold, or after sales customer service where your offer is free cleaning and repair of jewelry. So you think of what are they not doing so well? Let me get into that, and that will give you the advantage. Um, so you need to first identify who your competitors are. Make a list of all the main competitors and conduct what we refer to in business as a SWOT analysis on each of them to identify primarily their weaknesses because that's where you can fill the gap. There are some analytical tools that you can use to gain insight into your competitors' performance, such as SEMrush and SimilarWeb. Once you've identified what their business don't have, you can capitalize on the absence of that offering or product to define your USP, your unique selling proposition. So data analysis, or as I said, get as much data as you need. The more information you gather and you have, the better off your business will be. It's important that the data you have should be unbiased, relevant, and factual. You should be able to back up your research and make decisions based on accurate information. So now you've done all that and you put all your findings together to analyze. And after you've done your research of the market, it's time to look at what your findings are telling you. Lay out all your research and organize your findings into different sections, such as your purpose, your target market, and the competition. Once you've done that, it's time to put in a plan of action. Okay. So conducting market research might seem like a daunting task, but your business will thank you for it later. The output from your research could include a business case to attract investors, angel investors, and even getting a bank loan. It provides a clear vision and direction, and it will also help in making important, informed decisions. So now we're going to build an online business. And what I'm going to do is to show you with two AI development tools I've used, and Lovable and Replit. I'll just bear with me. I will pull out. Okay. So one of my aspirations is to go into the solar energy business. I've been dreaming about starting a solar energy business, and I just thought, okay, we've gone through the principles. I'm just going to try and reshare screen. Just bear with me. Can you all see my screen? Good, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so yes, as I said, so I took Lovable. Well, my camera stopped working. Oh, okay, thank you. I'm being told my camera stopped working, but I think you all now know what I look like. More important is my voice. So if you can see my voice, then if you can hear my voice, then that's all right. So I have created a website, and I entered a few prompts. So now just recalling on the principles I talked about. So the primary goal I put there is to sell solar products. We're talking panels. Sorry. Okay. Sorry, can you still see my screen? I don't know if.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, apologies. And so the other goal I put in is look at my target market. I've said to educate Ghanaians on solar benefits, generate leads, and build trust. And my target audience is the Ghana market, looking at urban households facing high energy costs and outages. And also I put in, rural communities lacking reliable grid and some small, medium-sized enterprises and schools needing cost efficient. Okay. So I put in this prompt, and as you can see, just referring to the panel on the left, you know, it thinks about it, the AI agent thinks about it, and then comes back with some results. And within the shortest time, it created this website. And you can see this is a professional, this is a functional working website. It is a prototype, so it's not live, but it's functional. And with just this amount of prompt, it has generated this website for me. It's got the homepage, which is capturing what the vision, the purpose of my product. It talks into the product is actually, I haven't entered any data, I haven't entered any pictures. It's gone onto the World Wide Web, picked up appropriate pictures, has gone ahead and also given some kind of pricing. And this is because there's so much data. As I said in my previous AI presentation, AI just depends on data, all the data out there. So it's definitely gone to source this. It knows what solar batteries looks like. Knows what inverters looks like. It knows what solar panels look like. It's gotten some pricing from probably some competitors, and it's just provided all this data without me having to do all this. It's gone on to add services, that I can offer, professional installation, outgoing support, regional consultation. It also provides a coverage, This is meant to be the map of Ghana, but I think I need to get a token to get this working. And then it shows, again, as I said, I don't know where this data is coming from. But it sort of created that template. So once I do my own research, I can actually populate this with actual figures. It then goes on to the benefits, and it talks about benefits. I have the opportunity to edit this if it's not saying what I want to say because it's not always going to get it right. But I think this is as accurate as one could get, and given other reasons and benefits based on target customers. So we've talked about urban households. I've told you need to identify who your customers are. You've got small and medium enterprises, rural communities, some schools and institutions. So these are four different personas of customers who I can target, and I can tailor my products or services based on these. And well, do we have there? It's given us a contact form. So you can request a quote, and there's some more contact information. So I went on back to ask it to create a community page. I think it's important to get your clients to talk to each other. This is one way of retaining your customers, and having that, I just put in another prompt. If I can find it, is create a community page for people who wish to have discussions on solar power products and installation. So this is really getting people, some it could be potential buyers, but this generates leads. And by clicking this, you can see the community page right there. And it's cleverly put them in different discussion categories, general discussion, solar products, installation types, maintenance. Now, the good thing again is, and again, you can see that it's even picked names, the Ghanaian names. This Amma is appearing again. No connection with the Amma I was referring to, but that seems to have appeared. But it's sort of sourced this from some other sources, and this adds credibility. But the good thing with this chat box, this community, I could put in a chat bot, a bot which I can train, you know. So whilst you don't have to be paying attention, whilst you're asleep, people can post questions and the bot is trained to respond, so if other frequently asked questions, it could respond. It could probably even give them quotations. So this is like having a salesperson 24/7. Yeah. So it's a bit like the 24-hour economy we've been talking about. So that is exactly what you can get with that. Can you still hear me? Am I still online?
Yep, please.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
please.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Sorry. I thought I'd been disconnected. So this is what I've got from using this. I'm going to show you another agent to call Replit. And what I've done here is exactly the same as in terms of the prompts I entered on Lovable. I've entered the same prompts and we'll see the results from Replit. Yes. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, apologies. I had this loaded before, but with all the activity, it's slowing down the performance of my laptop. But here we are. So on the left, again, is where you enter the prompts for the AI agents to go and carry out the work. Yeah. So again, similar, I wrote down my primary goal, which was to sell solar products, my target audience, the purpose, my target audience, you know, and it went away. It did a very similar job as Lovable, but I must confess the results I got from here are not as great. But it's equally as good, just that there'll be some more work to do. But obviously, there are also some differences. So if I show my full screen there. So there again, you can see it's cleverly put together this website we've got the products, and as you can see, the pictures are not as great as we got from Lovable. But again, with the agent, you can go back and say, I don't like this picture you selected. Go and find me this other picture. Or you could also upload. And there's still a lot. I mean, the question I'm sure some people will be asking, oh, so what's going to happen to website designers? For me, this is a good tool they can also use because it still allows you to do coding in the back end. Because not everything that's going to be the AI agents are not always going to produce the best results. So there'll always be some fine tuning. Yeah. Again, this is also done some very clever stuff, provided product information. It's added financing available. That is interesting. But again, something you could think about, and it's kind of giving some guide prices, um, which is good. Pictures are not appearing as great as the other one, and but it's you get what it's doing. You can see it's cleverly categorized the type of products: solar panels, inverters, batteries, and complete kits and accessories. Okay. Um, it looks at the services that we are offering, and it says, and again, nothing in terms of wording has been put on this website. It's all generated, come up with its own design and wording, which is great. So really, very little, the legwork has been done. So again, site assessment, professional installation, maintenance, and support. And Learn Solar, what is done there is, so I'll talk to you a bit more about solar and the benefits. Again, this is showing you the products, showing you the complete services. And it's also, which Lovable didn't have, it's provided some success stories. Great again. And again, you can see it's picked up local names because I did state the target market was Ghana. Again, these are all made up, but it shows you the power of these. I asked it to provide a map of Ghana. Obviously, you can clearly see this is not the map of Ghana. But again, as I said, there's always going to be some fine tuning to do, and it's broken that down into different installation, into different regions, and the other services that can be offered. And you can also provide your name and then provide some it will then help you provide some quotations. Okay. So, I'm going to, you see, John promised that, he promised that if you could guess how long it took me to put this together, the person who gets the nearest, he's going to give them £10. Okay. So in the chat, just tell me how long do you think it took me to create the one site? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 82 minutes. Okay. I'm going to let you see for yourself. So I did this a few weeks ago when I was prepping for this. The first prompt I entered after signing was at 7:36, and then the last prompt I entered, as you can see here, was at 7:44. So if you work out the maths, that's how long it took for this to be, for the prototype to be put together. And that is really impressive because a few years back, this would probably take a developer, a website designer, a good 4 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Gestapo, how long would this have taken you? So, yes.
Yeah. Well, 4 weeks would have been, yeah, quite hectic to produce something like this. Yes.
Exactly. So we're talking
Yeah.
potentially a 3-month project, and you have to be
Yeah.
paying someone for that period for that duration of development time. But it just
Including
shows that we
mistakes.
can be more productive. It's
Yeah.
more about productivity and shouldn't be seen as a threat to the jobs of developers. Because I know the question will be, why do we still need to learn programming if it's doing all that? I think in bigger, large organizations, programmers would still be required for the advanced type of applications that we run. So just going to go back to my screen. And so that was my quick demo on Lovable and Replit. Sorry. Oh, sorry, I thought I shared it. Okay, so that was my quick demo on Lovable and Replit. And what I'm going to do now, thank you. Where is, okay. So just a recap of what I've gone over. So to succeed in creating an online business, you first need to define a clear product purpose, research your industry, focus on your target customers, and analyze your competitors. So in conclusion, let's wrap up with a summary of the key takeaways. So here, I would say conduct your market research. You're going into business. You don't go blindly. The AI agents are just tools. They don't do the business for you per se. You need to focus on conducting your market research. Know why you're going into the market. Know who your competitors are. Know what the industry trends are. And do your analysis. That is key. So once you've done that, find your AI agents and then go on to build your online business with AI agents. Okay. So I'll stop at this point and like to say a big thank you for your time. It's a Sunday, but thank you for making the time. And I think, I don't know, Kofi, is there anything you want to add? And we're going to questions and answers.
Yeah, so I don't think we've got much time for questions and answers, but I'll tell you a story and I can show you some pictures as well. I am involved with a number of like new initiatives, and earlier in the year, I was in Ghana, and me and a few of my business partners, we're trying to launch this new product into the Ghanaian market. And we put this event together. And I wanted to share that with you and then tell you the AI story behind that. Okay. So I'll very quickly show you a 1-minute reel. Hopefully, it's not going to be too long. And then on the back of that, I will tell you the AI story behind that. And then when you do ask the questions, I can show you, some tools. So hopefully, I've got sharing rights and I can share. Okay. So let's try to share.
No, please go ahead.
No, please go ahead. Okay, I'm gonna share my sound as well. So share sound and then share. Okay. right. So hopefully you heard the sound and everything that came with it. So this event is essentially if you go onto your computer, so you go onto your website and you type into your phone premiumnonalcoholics.com, you're going to find a website there. And that website is just a list of a number of different premium non-alcoholic products that you're going to go through: wines, beers, ciders, and spirits. Great products. And all these products are currently available on the market. A lot of our products are, if you like, one of the very first, for us to kind of introduce these products into the Ghanaian market. So you will find things like Martini Zero, Tanqueray Zero. These are hard liquors, are 40%, but then we call zero versions of them. And what a lot of people do with these products, you go into your hotels, you go into your restaurant, and you can have essentially like a cocktail. There's a cocktail, the name of it is, pina colada, and you can have a mocktail version of it, no alcohol, or sex on the beach, no alcohol. So essentially these products were received, worldwide and in the Ghanaian market. We went into churches, and that event was actually held at the Silver Star Towers. And I'm pretty sure you recognize a lot of faces in there, depending on who etc. A lot of faces in there. That was a soft launch. So here is the AI story. Coming up to the event, we had a very short window for us to kind of put together the event. So the team in Ghana and the team in the UK were working together at a very short window, and the team from the UK got to Ghana, I think 3 days before the event. And then we needed to essentially put together a presentation that we're going to put in front of the audience to kind of walk them through who we are, the company that we're coming from, what our products are, what our mission statement was, etc. But then we had to deal with sorting out the venue with Silver Star Towers, and there was so much to do, getting the drinks into the venue. We just couldn't get our hands onto doing the presentation. So the night before the presentation, or the night before the event, that is when AI became a savior. And so we launched and we went on to this AI tool. And if you got access to it, you can go to this AI tool. It's called, it's a presentation one. It's called the Gamma app. And when you go into Gamma, essentially, you can tell Gamma any type of presentation that you want to do. And what Gamma is going to do is that it's going to listen to you. It's very much like a prompt. You're prompting the tool. And what the tool would essentially do is it would go out there and then it will create your presentation for you. You can tell it the theme that you want. You could tell you want a black theme, you want a white theme. You can skew it and just make it, behave exactly as you want. So here is the Gamma app. You can go in and see what Gamma is essentially doing. But we had to very quickly create our presentation for it. And our presentation, it probably took us maybe about an hour. Okay. And the presentation that we came up with was essentially this presentation that you're seeing here. This is a PowerPoint presentation about our products. And you can see the date there. It was the 16th of May at the Silver Star Towers. We went into another tool, a Kahoot. We just kind of use another AI tool. And then we said, we want a number of questions for a quiz. The AI generated us, all the quizzes, but we told the AI that we wanted the quiz to be about alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. So, we went in there, we put the Kahoot in there, and we put it to our audience. Our audience just went through, represented it. It was such a great time there. So everything that you're seeing here, all of these, director intros and the pictures, a lot of them were created by AI. All we had to do is we had to kind of put our pictures in there. And then we went in and we had this very nice occasion, went through the presentation. It was such a great event. So this is, a very little story about what AI can do in a very short space of time. And so you look at that is essentially our key proposition. When you talk about our unique selling point, this is exactly what we use our AI to do. So here are our products. Our products are wines, ciders, spirits, and beers. And then who are we targeting? we are targeting different people who are step downs, people who have medical conditions, people who choose not to drink by lifestyle, and then people who just say, I am a no alcohol person. All right. So different ways of looking at our products. And then we had a number of stories as well, to go through. And you look at our proposition again, you can see within the step down, the kind of people that we're targeting: pregnant women, recovery from alcohol, medications, balancing alcohol intake. So people would take, lots of hard liquor during the weekend. And then we say, because you're stepping down during the week, what you do is you just take our products. It's not going to be a Coke. It's not going to be a sugary malt. It is going to be a non-alcoholic version of what you already drink, but it doesn't come with the alcohol. And so this is our proposition. It was really great. And AI is a very big part of what we do. So this is, if you like, the first part of our AI, if you like, usage in terms of how we market our product. And then the last one that I wanted to talk about is how we kind of drive our websites as well. So everything that we do with our websites as well, I think as you can see here, our websites are built with AI, very similar to what Ben just went through. This is our website. It is live. You can go on there, pick up the phone the number, and say, I want Thatcher Zero. All right. You go in Thatcher Zero. You can buy them once you call that number, and you can get a discount. If you go in and you use my name, you can get a discount to buy your Thatchers. But all of these, we used AI using the Wix tool to curate it, behind the scenes, and then we just polished it with a lot of our products. One of the biggest things I want to talk about as well is that every month when we want to post a marketing, reel onto our social media, it has a tool in there which is, AI driven, is an agent. So we just go into the agent and we tell it what we want to do. So this product, for example, is going to be big in December. At Thatcher Zero, we are the only ones who sell it within the Ghanaian market. It's a cider, so it's got a sweet taste. It's apple based. And then it also kind of tastes like beer, but it doesn't have an alcohol. Great product for people who go to churches, religious views, and it's such a uniting product, right? But what we do is that when we want to create our advertisement or we want to do a marketing campaign, we just go behind the scenes in our tool, and then we go in and we prompt AI, and AI just knows about the product. We tell it what it should do, and it goes in, it creates the marketing campaign for us. It adds the music, everything, and then, it's ready to go. So behind the scenes, you can see the Wix Studio app, and here you can see an AI marketing agent and an AI custom agent. And this is what we kind of use when we want to do our marketing campaigns, etc. So yeah, I just wanted to share a little bit of how we are using AI to drive, businesses, and in our very kind of novel business in Ghana, we're using a lot of AI to push what we're doing on the ground in Ghana. Okay, so that's just a little bit that I wanted to add to the story of what Ben has just said. But you can see our market research, our unique selling point, everything that Ben is going through. We've been using it and we've been practicalizing it, and it's on the ground. So thank you very much, guys.
Wow. Fantastic presentation. Fantastic presentation. Thank you. Thank you very much, Fifi and Gozi. Thank you so much. Very, very insightful, very useful. And I believe after this presentation, a number of us will jump at the opportunity to start our own businesses. And website is one of the difficult things when it comes to getting your business known in this age of information technology. And there we go. You have the solution. And for me personally, even Flex had a platform. I mean, had a website. Fifi knows about it. Fifi, we have all these systems. Then the Flex website should be easily done. I appreciate this presentation so much, and I'm sure you have as well. So at this point, we're going to allow a few questions to our speakers. And there are others on the, others connected as well who are very much into IT and may also have one experience or the other to share. So please, if you have used another tool that you found very helpful and useful, we'll be very happy to hear from you as well. So we welcome questions to Fifi and Ben. We welcome comments, we welcome contributions, and anyone who also wish to share. Anyone, if you want to share your experience as well, you are very much welcome. In the meantime, I've put a link on the chat box, and if anyone wants to receive this presentation video and also PowerPoint, we'll share that on a Flex Connect platform. It's a WhatsApp platform. It's a learning community. The community that Gozi told us about on the website, we have a similar one on WhatsApp where we share knowledge and we inspire each other. So a link is put on the chat box. If you can click on it and join and connect with us on the Flex Connect platform. So yes, gentlemen, thank you so much for such an insightful presentation. We really appreciate it and very practical. It's unbelievable that a website can be built in 12 minutes. I don't know if anybody got the answer, so I can make my £10 ready. But yes, the floor is now open for us to receive your comments, your contributions, and your experiences if you want to share with us. The floor is now open. Thank you. So if you have a question, you can put it in the chat box or you can raise your hand. I will see you and call you. Or you can, there's these two things. Put your question in the chat box or raise your hand. I see the first hand. The first hand I see here is Dr. Irene Riverson. Doc, please go ahead.
Hello, good evening. Gentlemen, thank you so much. I didn't see all of it, but I was wondering whether, if you are in London, would you be up for gathering some people physically and actually building some websites together, as it might take an hour or so, please?
Yeah, I can make the time if you want to meet in person. But also we can also arrange something virtual. But yes,
Okay, so actually
Kofi,
virtual could work as well, couldn't it? So
yes,
if there
it
are other
could. We
people
could
like
have a
me who might
session.
need hand holding. Okay.
Yeah,
Please, we'll take it offline and then put it on the platform for those who might want to.
no worries. Yeah,
Thank you
I
so
mean,
much.
I'm speaking on my behalf. I don't know what Kofi.
Oh, Kofi, sorry, we didn't give you a chance to answer as well.
No, I think it's fine. Yeah, especially if it's virtual, we can make it work. So yeah, it's fine.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So yes, I saw Kojo, please. My namesake.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I have 2 points, so a comment and a question. I'll first the question, and that goes to Gozi. AI and of course agentic AI has has it's it's a double-sided sword, if I may put it that way.
Mm.
What are some of the downsides? If you can maybe throw some light on that, because we've only seen the good sides of what it can do.
Yeah.
We didn't hear anything about the other side of things. So maybe if you can throw light on one or two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one big downside, and this is something I covered in my previous presentation, is bias data. So as I said, AI, machine learning depends on data, and it will learn based on the data that's provided. So you've got to be careful how you use it. In the legal sector where I work, it's quite important that the data, the AI tool, the technology is great. But if you are making a legal case, it's very important that whatever you're picking is factual. So one thing that a lot of the professional services are doing is creating their own private chat GPT, private co-pilot, which means that it's just sourcing data and ensuring that it brings up that data. Well, to your question, some of the downsides, if the data isn't right, then there's going to be misinformation. I used an example where I think Google were had a contract with one of the military, I think the US military, and it was it was a defense tool to target terrorists. So the question is, how is the AI going to know who the terrorist is? Chances is it's going to be looking at data where the person is either is Arab, brown in complexion, of a certain ethnic group, and that's what it's going to base on. And that can be very dangerous because if this is a autonomous machine which is meant to go out to war and find who the enemy is, that can be the downside. This is an extreme example, but the data is what is key. And misinformation and hallucinations, these are all things that can play in as the downside when it comes to AI. Yeah. But apart from that, I think the positives outweigh the negatives.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Hmm.
Thank you very much for that.
Wow, fantastic. Kofi, do you want to add anything?
Sorry, just my mutiness. Yeah, so I think that's one of the key things. I remember when we were doing our market research, we were on the ground for 2 years continuous asking the questions, but then we decided to query the data, and so we were putting prompts like, give us, historical trends about the sales, if you like, figures of premium non-alcoholic beverages in Ghana and stuff. And it was very difficult. It did give us some forecast based on, what some soft drinks were doing. But then, these forecasts, just because, non-alcoholic or non-alcoholic beers and ciders are a new thing generally, something that's come, more into demand since the pandemic. And so even, in Western economies, it's fairly new. And so what we found is that the data just wasn't there. And so, we had to obviously do a little bit of talking on the ground and see the, interest within the product, etc. So data is obviously always going to be a bit of a problem for us. And I think that there are lots of initiatives on the ground, in a lot of African countries where, new initiatives are looking at training, our data. But I think it takes a while for that to be a little bit accurate, as close as what you have if you're querying some other sources that has got like European or American data in them.
Right. Thank you very much. So here again, Africa seems to be at a disadvantage. Um, anyway, that's maybe a topic for another day. Let me just keep focus and let's move on. Pastor Sally, please.
Thank you so much. This was an awesome presentation. So my question is, with regards to building this low-end websites, do you have to have a domain first, or the domain comes with this price that you mentioned?
Okay, so what I showed you was a prototype. If you want to go professional, obviously you need to get a subscription. And with the same packages, it could find you a domain name you could use. It, depend on the service and the package you go for. Alternatively, you could just go to a domain site, buy your domain name, and then publish what you've created in this tool onto that domain name. So you have options. Yeah.
And I
Okay, thank
think
you.
it's quite key. It's a really good question because there are different types. So, what Ben focused on, if you kind of think about a scenario where you have to build a prototype very quickly, for your client, to get your client to see what it looks like. It's a great starter, and then you can then expand out. Sometimes you can copy the code and then put it onto, another a tool that can interpret that code exactly, and then you can host it elsewhere. But then in my presentation, our website is sat on Wix, which is an independent website building, tool hosted on the cloud. And so what they have done is that they've built the AI agent directly into the website. So you go onto it and you kind of prompt the AI as much as you can, tell it everything, and it goes out and it spins off the website. And then if you're happy with the website, and then you then customize it with your own, a little bit of your own information, all the tools to buy a domain is already there in the engine. So you just buy the domain and you add it onto it, and then that's it. It's software as a service, so you don't need to think about anything else. You're going to be paying for using their platform. You pay for the domain, and that's it. So if it's $10 or $15 that you pay, that's all you need. But it will build a website, and then you have a backend side of it that you can manage, your website. One more thing that I want to say is, yes, it's true that it's AI and it's going to go in and build it for you. But for you to kind of customize it and then make it look professional in a good enough manner, you sometimes do need a little bit of, understanding of website, getting it to have the right structure, etc. So if you got anybody who kind of knows about website, you can be sat next to that person, and then you can create the website together. But a lot of the time, depending on where the business is at, you do still need professionals. There is a place for professional web developers as well. So yeah, you just got to create the balance.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
John, you're mute.
Yeah, sorry. Which one did you just mention? Covin.
Oh, yeah. So my platform was Wix,
Wix.
Wix.com. But there are many tools. So when you go to GoDaddy also have a website builder. You can go and prompt it and it will build it for you. But the difference, most web hosting companies are coming up with builders, and then you can prompt them with, your prompts, and then they've got AI tools that will go and generate a website for you. The difference between these two tools is that if you go and prompt GoDaddy, you're still going to need a little bit of understanding about the hosting. You still have to kind of make sure that, you've got all the security things in place. It will generate, if you like, the front end of the website for you. You can customize it, but you will still have to kind of do some work, and it involves you going behind the scenes, navigating around a hosting package. There's a whole lot of clutter that you might not really know how to kind of, work with those tools. Whereas if you have, a SaaS hosted web platform, and you go in and you generate it, you don't need to know anything technical. You don't need to know about databases, and you don't need to, it's already got everything in there. So if you want to capture, if you like, customer interactions, or you have a customer agent, I think somebody just came in onto my website whilst we're here. They were from Australia. I can see them. And I started chatting with them. I said to them, welcome. Okay. And they can chat to me, but no, they were in Austria. So I can see exactly where people are coming onto the website from. What it is that these packages are doing exactly what they are designed to do. You don't have to worry about anything else. They manage everything for you, and you pay a subscription. So it depends on the tool and the level of complexity. But if you're a large business, you want to have absolute control, you want to be able to manage your loads, etc. These pre-built, SaaS platforms may not necessarily be the platform for you. You want to go for your own hosting, put everything on your own hosting, control your data, design your website. So it depends on how big or small you are, and the decisions that you make around what you should do about hosting your business websites. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. So yeah, I think I saw another hand up. The Samsung something. Unless the question is answered, or your question has already been answered through other people's questions. Let me read a question out. Agriculture is a real deal in Ghana and beyond. How do you bridge AI agents and agriculture, and how do you scale your agriculture business in an industry that is virgin to AI? Hmm. Should I read that again?
I think I have a
Talk to
rough
me.
idea what the question is about. And
Okay.
so, yes, there's technology and there's business. Those are two separate entities. Right now, technology is such that it's bringing the worlds together. It may sound far apart, but with the tech tools, understand what is it you're doing in your farming or your agriculture. Going through those principles is key. Understanding your industry, doing all these things, and then applying what technology in terms of solution can help with productivity. It could just be, for example, you're going into poultry. You want investors to come into it. You want people to feel like they're farmers, but they're not doing the legwork. They are not actually on the farm.
Yeah.
They're all contributing and getting a share out of it. This is where technology can play a part.
I'm noticing.
Yeah. And I think it depends, like in
Okay,
this
for the
world of
agriculture.
Internet of Things, sometimes it just means that if you put some plants there and you're worried about how the plants are doing, I can foresee a time where every seed that you put on the ground, somebody might put a small chip in there and it would be able to, if you like, measure the temperature of the plant, etc., how the plant is doing, etc. And then it would communicate it to you in a tool. And depending on, what you're seeing on your data, you can then go in and physically, take some action. Um, and there's a lot. Again, we are talking about, a lot of data here. So there is this, yeah, Internet of Things will get you to kind of work on your own small farm. You can use a technology and it will do a lot. But if you want to go into things that you want to predict, how much your plants and where they are, whether they've got all the nutrients to essentially give you the kind of harvest that you want, then you may be able to kind of take the data as to where you are already, look at how the plant is going, and then feed it to another tool, and that tool can predict for you what your harvest is going to look like, and you may want to do something. So, we're still very much at the infancy stage of what AI is going to do. But in the future, I think you're going to see a merger, as Ben says, of technology, Internet of Things and AI coming together, and we become more productive and more predictive when it comes to what we can do.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think one area I could easily foresee AI being helpful to agriculture is when it comes to the weather forecast. In terms of predicting climatic conditions, when to sow and when to expect to harvest and all of that. There is some aspect of that already happening, in terms of farmers relying more on climatic prediction of how the weather would be like, how the conditions would be like. Right. Thank you very much. Dr. B. Riverson would want to know if you would ask if is asking if you could put a website for your non-alcoholic drinks or beverages on the platform, please. And there's a question here from Francis. It says, it says, brilliant presentation. What are your thoughts on the use of AI in academia?
Kofi, do you want to start with that? I can go with that. And because I've had a lot of experience working on learning management systems, and a lot of them are introducing like AI companions. So what that means is, so I'm talking about digital learning platforms, I suppose, where we say academia, that's where it's coming into. So where you've got e-learning. So a lot of these digital learning platforms you go to, There's AI in terms of recommending training, personalizing your training. So, for example, you will enter the type of topics you're looking for. It will find content, relevant content for you to learn. It can tailor or create a learning plan for you to use. And also other things it does is if you are like in a cohort, so you and this other person did the same course. Now this other person went off and did another course. It will know that okay, you guys did a course together. You might be interested in this other course this person has done, and hence it may also recommend that because it might be relevant to you. It's very similar to how you see YouTube and Netflix and all these digital platforms work in terms of recommendation. There's AI behind algorithms and identifying things that will be interested and pushing that to you. So that's one way in terms of digital learning platforms. Now let's go into the classroom tools. Um, I think it's still a teaching aid. It helps with your research. It can help put your presentations together quicker. If you use tools like Microsoft 365 now, it's got embedded Microsoft Copilot, and it helps with, you could just put in a prompt, you want a presentation on this topic, and within PowerPoint, it will do that. So I see a lot of this coming into learning and different ways of learning. Kids of today don't even use calculators. We thought that was a luxury. You know, we used trigonometry, what was the book? I can't remember. But we had to use tables to refer and understand a lot of these things. All these things have kind of disappeared. So education, ways of learning is evolving. And that's how I see that coming into. And again, also with research. You probably will not need to go into library opening encyclopedias and big books because you can almost get the information by just typing a few prompts in ChatGPT or Copilot. Yeah. So probably education schools need to think of how you can utilize it and how it can benefit and not be seen as a way of cheating and, getting ChatGPT to do your essay for you. Not in that sense, but more as a good research tool to make you more productive and how you learn.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much, Ngozi. And thank you, Fifi. I think we are wrapping up now. We should be done in the next few minutes. I think it's been a very, very good session. One of the most impactful, insightful sessions we've had. And thank you so much. If you have any further question, you want to type it into the I was going to say AI box, into the chat box. Well, we're wrapping up. Someone is asking before I do that. Just kindly note that our next First Connect session will be on the 26th of October. It will be on financial literacy, so don't miss it. Please take note of it and invite your friends and let them know about this. About the that's the next session. Someone's asking why don't we have a seminar specifically on creating or developing websites with AI assistance? It seems to be a good idea. What do you think?
Yeah, I put a response in there for the person. I said, yeah, we think it's a great idea. So we take that suggestion and we'll think about how we can move that idea forward. Yeah.
Okay, so that's one idea. That's one idea for um potentially one potential subject for our next session on AI. Okay. Any further comments as we wrap up? If not, then I'm going to. Do you think AI is a blessing or a curse for our children in school? That's an interesting one. You think AI is a blessing or a curse? So maybe we'll take that as the last question and then We'll ask you to give your closing remarks. Please take note. The link is on the platform if you want to join Flex Connect website WhatsApp platform, so you can receive this presentation and others. Click on the link and join the platform. We do get a lot of materials that helps with our personal development. So I encourage you to join. We are very thankful to you. We are grateful for you spending your Sunday evening time with us. We don't take it for granted, and I believe that it has been a blessing to you connecting. So maybe you will take this as a final question, your comments before you give your closing remarks. Then we'll draw the curtain on today's edition. Thank you.
Okay, I'll go first and then allow Guzi to close because he's done much of the day. So I think is it a blessing or a curse for our kids? I think both. Our children are going to think differently. Children of today, in the next 20 years, the way their lives are going to be is not too much about trying to remember things. I think what they would be wanting to do is, what tool can I use? Okay, so this is going to be one of the biggest things in the next few years. Everybody would, be chasing about, where can I go to get the information of what I can use to do what I want to achieve. All right. That is probably going to be the biggest thing on all our minds in the next few years, because everybody would know that there's AI for everything. All right. There's AI. So our children will be looking. But I do know that, schools are controlling AI quite well. So, in the primary education level, they would restrict, use of, tablets, etc. Make sure that children are learning the basics of English, mathematics, and everything they got to do. And then they gradually introduce them to it when they come into secondary education. In the universities and in sixth form, there's some really complex, AI tools. I remember back in when I was in uni, we had this tool, turn it in. So when we did our assignment, we'll pull it there, and I'm sure Ben Akwe would know all about it. And then it will go behind the scene and it'll score, our papers based on how much plagiarism has happened on there. And there are some sophisticated tools out there that's able to scan the student papers to know whether it's been generated by AI. I'm involved with work with charity, etc. And in now, when we submit our bids for funding, the charity organization that gives the funding, they've got AI tools that actually scans all the responses to see whether you've used AI. And when you do use AI, it downgrades your score. So, AI needs to be used, but you got to make sure that you're personalizing it. You are also making sure that you are confirming the facts, because AI can hallucinate and give you false information that is being presented really nicely. So do I think it's going to be a curse or is going to be a blessing? I think that in the same way that, 20 years ago or 30 years ago, when I was growing up, there was no mobile phone, right? But my parents were still doing life. Now I've got a mobile phone. I can pick up the phone and connect with all my family around the world. I think that our children are going to benefit from that. It's going to make them live longer. Their diseases are going to be detected way much more earlier. And I think that it's going to be a blessing. So that's my take on it. I don't believe that it's going to be too much of a curse. Certainly more of a blessing in my view. So for me, that's it. And thank you so much for the opportunity to have this conversation together. I'll hand over to Ben.
Yeah, I think if you said it all, my examples are quite similar. In everything, there are pros and cons. And I like to focus on the positives. But yes, I do see the downside. I do have concern for the generation after the younger generation because they're very dependent to the extent that sometimes some just wake up in the morning and ask ChatGPT, what should I wear? So brain power is going down. And I think even those of us who are regularly using these tools too, it is also having an impact. We get a bit lazy to push our brain and because we know, oh, you could quickly get this done. And in our words, we're defining that as being productive. However, I think it's important. And these days, I get memory fog, memory lapses. I don't know whether it's age or probably because I'm not using my brain as much as I should. But yeah,
It's a bit of both,
we
actually.
I think we should focus on the positives and also try and mitigate, any risks, if you've got young children, you have to control their screen time on any tablet, on the computer, on the internet. Please do that if you've got young children. Get them to write more because you'd be surprised that these days you have teenagers who cannot write because all they've been doing is typing keyboards. So get your children to train them as we were trained, with some of the basics. That is very important, and that's the only way we can mitigate risk because this wave we're going through is so powerful, and you can't be left behind. And if this becomes a new tool, even driving, you go to San Francisco, you have autonomous driving cars. Very soon you don't need to even learn how to drive, which I think driving is a skill that helps you coordinate all your brain power and other things, your alertness. So if you just sit in a car and touch a button to get you to your destination, what are we learning as humans? So I think a lesson to all of us, and particularly to the younger generation, let's also try and keep to our older traditions and then balance it with new technology that's coming our way.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. But yeah, I said that was the last question, but I have something on environment very quickly in 30 seconds. What's likely to be the impact of AI on the environment?
Yeah, we know the computer machines power, they're consuming a lot of energy. And I know we have to think of sustainable energy. What I know companies like Microsoft are doing, they say they're going green, but really what they are doing is they are contributing money or some of their profits to green initiatives. And so probably I talked about solar power. So this will be a chance to, get some people to come and invest with me. Let's go solar. And we can power a lot of these machines using solar and hence less environmental damage in terms of how we're currently powering our homes and our homes and our businesses. Yeah. John, you're mute.
I'm sorry. I said I missed a couple of questions, but not on purpose. If you can just respond very quickly, what AI tool can help brand my product properly for more market? Any thoughts? Very quick response. Anything
I've
comes to mind?
I've responded by
Okay,
replying to the
good.
person with 10 different AI tools that they can look at when it comes to
10. Wow.
branding.
It
Yes,
would have been helpful to put it on the chat box for others to see it.
it's in the chat, so everybody would see it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't
Yes.
seen it. Maybe you did a direct response to the person. Ah, okay.
No,
I've
no, I
seen it
can
now.
also see it. I can see it.
I've seen it. I've seen it now. Yes. Okay, good. Okay. Right. So I think we've done justice to all the questions. If your question was missed, you can put it on the Flex Connect platform. I believe both Kofi and Ben are on there. They can respond to you. So let's continue the conversation beyond this period. I think our time is far gone, and would like to bring the session to a close. It's been a fantastic session. I've learned a lot, and I'm definitely going to make sure that Kofi helps us with the Flex website, which he promised us a while back. So, ladies and gentlemen, I really appreciate your time spent with us this Sunday evening. And I look forward to seeing you again at the next First Connect edition on financial literacy. We have Adnan, um, Sani, somebody who is doing so well in business, especially Airbnb. He's going to share a few thoughts with us on how we can be financially literate and make good and sound financial and investment decisions. So please, let's look forward to when you receive the flyer. Do us a favor, share it with your friends, share the link with your friends, invite them to be part of this great community of learners. On that note, I want to thank our speakers once again. God richly bless you. God bless you also for joining us. May God take you through the week. Bless you and bless the work of your hands. Until we meet again in October, I'll say bye for now. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank
We
you.
usually
Bye. Thank you too.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
God bless you all.